What's going on, fellas? We are back. Long All-Star break. Had a long week. Had some high scores. And we'll get into that. But a lot of stuff went down today in terms of preparing for fantasy football. So we're getting close to that. Everybody gave a number today. And that is how many points you got, or how many... not points, entries you got into the lottery that we are doing. The average, I will tell you right now, which ended up being my score, since I could not obviously pick a number, my score ended up being 50.4, which obviously rounds down to 50. So I'm smack in the middle. Chumba was the biggest pussy and picked 99. Like a little bitch, and I believe the lowest pick was 24. So right now, Chumba has the highest odds to get the number one overall pick, and let's see, trying to figure out, definitely not John, 26 I think might have been it, which would be Jake. So very, very different ends of the spectrum, obviously. But it ended up, I did the math, ended up me being right in the middle. There's obviously people below and people above. So that's first things first. Fantasy baseball right around the corner. Couple more weeks and we're there, fellas. Second, in custom with our rules. Last year, Cameron won fantasy football. Broschardt came in dead last. Not much different than this year. However, as per the constitution of our sacred league, Cameron gets to determine Broschardt's presentation punishment. After Alex last year, Cameron wanted a little bit more structure. And has provided me with the following. Reminder, if Broschardt does not do this, he loses his first round pick. So he has to follow through. He will record it, send it to me, and I will post it private on the YouTube video. This one will not be a public thing that can be viewed. So, without further ado, let me read Cameron's message. The fuck? Thought I just heard River. Anyway, here we go. As the overall winner of the Fantasy Balls Fantasy Football League, it is bestowed upon me, Cameron J. Donachie, with great honor, that I am able to come up with a punishment for the last place finisher of said league. Punishment for Justin Broschardt for his incompetence and failure to successfully lead his team to a respectable finish in the 2024-2025 Fantasy Balls football season will be fair and not illegal or controversial. Controversial. I know what's coming. Justin's punishment will require him to present and dictate a PowerPoint equating each member of the league to a national tragedy and give, at minimum, 5 reasons he came to said correlation. Justin will also be required to add photos of said tragedy and cite his sources using MLA format. I, Cameron J. Donachie, at the behest of Commissioner William Golder, own the right to disqualify said punishment if the prompt does not meet a quality and thoughtfulness that is expected of you. Signed, League winner Cameron J. Donachie, Commissioner William Golder, and Legal Counsel Alec J. I have no idea how to say Alex. Kredjiskin. I'm putting the J in the super wrong place. Karestetigen. That might be it. I don't know. So, Broschardt has to make his presentation naming each of us in accordance to a national tragedy. So, Broschardt, this is due. I'll talk to you separate. But you got to figure it out. So, into the quick recap. I'm going to go through the scores pretty quick, try and get to a lot of the playoff stuff. The score, or not the score, I completely do not recall at all who the hell was the game of the week. It's 2 weeks now. That's not on me, honestly. It's kind of on the All-Star break. I'm totally innocent of all things. That being said, I just went to closest scores, which ended up being Jake and I. All right, Jake and I, game of the week. Could have been, could have not been. I don't know. 610 to 608. This was a tight one. All fucking week long, I was texting Jake and Chumba being like, what the fuck is going on right now? Jake had some fucking absolute crazy shit happening, okay? Kyle Stowers, 5 home runs in 2 games? What the fuck was that? Who the fuck is he, okay? He's a Marlin. I heard of him early in the season, but just because of how inexperienced he was, where the fuck did that come from, okay? And then Garrett Crochet, you fucking dick. Fucking 9-inning, 3-hit, complete game shutout, 9 strikeouts, 47 points. Alright, so for most of this game, I was down bad, losing. Jake was putting up crazy numbers, and your boy made a comeback. But that's all I'll go into. Okay. Next, we got Griff getting the W. This one's huge for playoffs. Moves Griff to 6-10. Eddie falls to 7-9. Again, tight competition for the playoffs. Griff 512, Eddie 490. So a tight matchup, but Griff getting those W's. Chumba getting absolutely dick kicked in. Ooh, I totally gave Chumba way too much credit, I think. I think I misread the score on this one. This should be the lowest. This should be the last game. We're gonna wait for that one, because I misread Chumba's score. Moving along to the next close game. Cameron, absolutely diabolical, 661 points. Broschardt, no chance, 583, way behind. Any other matchup has a decent chance, but yeah, Broschardt, Cameron's just such a juggernaut right now, so it's really looking tough. That being said, Broschardt had a very good end of the week after the All-Star break. Kodai Senga just gave up a home run, whatever. John! Broschardt's already eliminated. Cameron's already clinched the number 1 seed. It's fine. John getting his dick kicked in by Connor. Now again, this one super interesting. John falls to 7-9. Connor moves to 6-10. Again, tightening that playoff race. However, here's what the whole league does not know. Connor, early in the week, I'm gonna say the first Wednesday. He was up big, 69, 108, 93. He was kicking John's dick in, okay? He texted in a different group chat that we have and said, not doing the chug this week, don't need it. Now, what the fuck? Now, integrity. Obviously not there at all. So, trying to restore some, I said, hey, John, pick a number between 50 and 200. I think that was the question. That was what it was. And John picked whatever number. It led to this whole argument. Don't worry about it. And it led to me, as commissioner, working in favor for Mr. John Cornobus. Say, Connor, if you don't do your chug, you will lose, instead of the traditional 15 points, the traditional, not the non-traditional, 125. Because that's like what John picked or something, or I added whatever. I don't remember. So, essentially, Connor tried to hold the league hostage. He said, I will not stand for this. He said, I will leave the league. He tried holding us hostage. I wasn't having it. I said, Connor, you will not Neville Chamberlain me into being some... I should have said... In this... I said I'm not Neville Chamberlain in the chat. Here I should have said you will not Adolf Hitler me into bending to your whims. We do not practice appeasement here in this league. I made a decision. I had approval from 2 of the 5 members of the group chat. That would be Chumba and John. I took it. I ran with it. Connor said, I will leave the league. I said, no, you won't. We do not fucking crumble to terrorists. So John had an opportunity, and guess what? He still fucking shit the bed. So John had the league behind him, and still couldn't do... So the man that is constantly trying to say that the league is corrupt has some corruption in his favor. The first corruption of all time, might I add. And it was in his favor, and he still couldn't fucking do it. So that's on fucking John. John loses 502 to 403. That's after Connor had 125 points removed. Connor originally scored 627. But John shit the fucking bed, and he wants to make the playoffs? Absolutely not. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But had to get that off my chest. Now we get back to Chumba. Chumba loses 539 to 403 and a half. Now this is important because that half point means that John also owes the fucking chug this week. So John... No, it's not leaving. John shit the bed. N was the lowest scorer. N owes a chug. Like, what are we doing, Johnny? What are we doing? So, John owes a chug. Chumba squeaks out of owing another one who's had to do the most. Chumba also losing here moves him to 6-10. So if we move into the standings quick, I know I'm long here. I'm clinched. Cameron's clinched. Alec is clinched. Broschardt is the only eliminated. Connor, Chumba, and Griff are all at 6-10. John and Eddie are at 7-9, and Jake is at 8-8. Jake is the only one with a 99% chance to make it. Everybody else, the highest is 81, 79, 29, 7, 6. So it's not impossible for anybody except for Broschardt. But it's going to come down. This is going to be a big week. Because of that, John is going to be in the fucking spotlight after having to owe a chug. He's going up against Alec. Alec, who could tank, doesn't have to. I could tank, don't have to. Cameron could tank, doesn't have to. If we want to see the playoffs be more interesting, or the playoff race. But John versus Alec is the game of the week. And yeah, John, figure it the fuck out, bud.